Hey everyone, Graham Welch here, WE5I from hamradiocrazy.com. I want to show you an antenna today that I used over the summer on sporadic ease on 6 meters. I had incredible luck with it and wanted to show you so you can make a similar antenna. I hear a lot of times in the Elmer's forums on various websites, ham radio websites, that people are thinking about getting on 6 meters. They're trying to get on 6 meters. They'd like to get on 6 meters. But doggone it, you can get on 6 meters. If you have a radio, especially one of the newer type radios that has HF and 6 meters, all you need is an antenna. You can get on 6 meters and you can have outstanding luck with very simple homemade antennas. I want to show you this antenna right here. This is a Delta loop for 6 meters. It's extremely simple to make. I made 531 QSOs on sporadic ease on 6 meters into over 200 grid squares this summer 2010 with 20 feet of wire and about 3.5 feet of coax. This coax section is a 75 ohm matching section, and what that does is it converts the native impedance of the Delta loop itself, which is about 125 ohms, down to the 50 ohms that your transceiver expects. So we've got two calculations: the length of the antenna wire itself, and we've got the length of the matching section. And I'll show you now both of those calculations.
Alright, I know I said there'd be two calculations, but I'm going to throw in a couple of extra ones as bonuses here. The first one we're going to start with is the total length of the antenna wire for the Delta loop. And the constant we use for that is 1005. And then you simply divide by your center frequency. That holds on any band. If you're making a Delta loop for any band, it's 1005 divided by whatever you want your center frequency to be. So for 6 meters, it's 50.125. That's the calling frequency on 6 meters for SSB and CW. Below that is going to be CW and DX and the beacon band. And above that is going to be where guys spread out when there's an opening on 6 meters up to about 50.250. So going by 50.125 works out to a good center frequency for me. So 1005 divided by 50.125 equals, and that gives you the number of feet. So it's 20.049 feet. The 049 feet is it's just over half of an inch. So in a full wave loop like this, I didn't even worry about it. I just cut 20 feet of wire. Okay, so this total length around the Delta loop antenna is 20 feet. Okay, 20 feet 1/2 inch if you want to get specific. So that gives us 6 feet 8 inches per side. It's not really critical that you have it in an exact perfect triangle. So that's what I did, but you can run it, slightly out of shape if you need to. You can run it as a square. There's a variety of other ways to do it, but I recommend, if you want top performance out of this antenna, go ahead and put it in as perfect of a triangle as you can and leave it at that. So the next calculation then is what's the length of the matching section, and again, this is a 75 ohm coax. There's a little more to that calculation, in that any given brand of and any given part number of RG59, or any coax for that matter, is going to have its own velocity of propagation, also known as velocity factor. So how do you find that velocity factor? Well, you can ask your dealer who sells you the coax, or you can look it up. I just looked up my coax on the internet. I just Googled it, and I found that it's Coleman cable 92074. And what I did is I just brought up the specifications for it on the internet, and I found that the velocity of propagation is 78%, and that also reads as 0.78. Okay, and the way we use that 0.78 is this. To find that quarter wave matching section, we take the constant of 234, and then we divide by, again, that center frequency at 6 meters, 50.125, and that equals 4.668 feet. Okay, so to find the number of inches, we just multiply by 12, and that equals 56 inches. Okay, so a quarter wavelength at 6 meters at 50.125 is just about exactly 56 inches. Now, what we do with that 78% right here is we multiply. Just multiply by 0.78, and that equals 43 and about 3/4 inches. So this 75 ohm matching section needs to be 43.69 inches long. Give or take a 1/4 inch. You want to be pretty close, but you don't have to be precise. This is a relatively imprecise antenna, so a 1/4 inch one way or the other is not going to be the difference. It'll work fine, and it'll really get you way into the ballpark. Okay, the next calculation I want to show you is the installed height. 0.1 to 0.2 wavelengths in height will deliver about 90% of the performance that a delta loop is capable of giving. So that's a real simple one. Basically what we're going to do is take the 20 feet of antenna length and multiply by 0.1, and that equals 2 feet, so 24 inches off the ground. I installed my antenna at 26 inches off the ground just to clear that 0.1. Okay, and so in order to find the 0.2, all we have to do is take the 20 feet, multiply by 0.2, and that equals 4 feet, obviously. So anywhere from 2 to 4 feet off of the ground for this 6 meter delta loop, and you're going to get most of the performance that this antenna is ever capable of delivering.